two friends talking shop. Sit back and enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe. Rachel and Miller, hey, hey, Real Estate Podcast.
That's us. You're Rachel,
That's
I'm Miller,
us.
and this is our podcast.
I
Hey
love
there.
that you hit that and then live. And we still haven't fixed the way he says my last name. It sounds like he's saying motor.
It's Alo. I think he has an accent.
Sure,
No,
okay.
I could do my voice and I could like sing it, but it's gonna really have to be
You,
auto.
buddy, you haven't heard an accent until you lived in my house.
Okay, I can go with
You
that.
don't know what you're talking about.
We should have Mark record it. Before we get too far into deep, I'm speaking good English today.
More better.
More gooder English. Yes. Do you have our disclaimer handy? If not, I'll let you read it because I don't have
Let
mine
me
handy.
see. My eyes are getting worser and worser.
We're batting 1,000 right now.
I swear I'm gonna get my eyes fixed before the end of the year. Welcome to the Rachel and Mr. Miller podcast, where we discuss real estate, real life, and occasionally things we probably shouldn't. We're pros in the buying and selling of professional real estate, but nothing you hear here is legal, financial, or professional advice outside of our licensed wheelhouse. I know you also like to say that listening to this podcast does not in any way create any agency or relationship. I winged that part. I
Oh.
winged it, and I'm not done. We're just two people talking. Proceed accordingly. So there you have it.
Now I'll do it. For our studio audience, and lots of people watching and listening.
Wow, we got an Oprah crowd out there.
We do. We have a lot
It's
of
like a
listeners.
full-on Oprah crowd.
Hey, quiet down a little, folks. Hey,
Holy
we're trying to do a
smokes.
show here. Trying to do a show here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. Just
Yeah,
stop.
just quiet it
No,
down.
please,
Just quiet it down.
Please, just stop.
So, Rich, we have both had a very busy week, and
It's been
it's
insane.
just yes, it's late night calls and texts going, huh? What? Oh my! But we're not going to go into that today. We started last week talking about HOAs, and
2 weeks ago,
it's-
we weren't on last week. I had to dip last week.
Oh yeah, was that 2 weeks ago?
That was last week. Yeah, we were dark last week.
Oh yeah, so 2 weeks ago we started talking about HOAs.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that we were like spearheading this whole HOA thing. Is after our podcast, I started seeing it at other locations and other things going on all around the country with HOAs.
Uh-oh.
Rachel's Moreno's device is struggling. Your device is struggling. I think I can.
Yeah.
I think I can. I think
welcome
I can. I
to
think I can.
welcome to my world. I think it's the heat, and then it'll be the cold, and then it'll be the wind.
Right. And you don't even live in the desert. Yes. I just got an alert that there's lightning in Trona. Oh
my
I'm gonna
gosh.
make this go away. Go away. Pink. There.
So yes, we were kind of like a little bit ahead, and then people started talking, and everyone's caught up in terms of HOA and funding.
There's a lot of information, and what like I said, we spearheaded this. It feels like on social media, is there are so many changes afoot. There are going to be agents that are not up to speed, and it's going to really slow things down and cause some chaos. I'm happy to say the 4 or 5 different escrow companies I've spoken to are up to speed and know what's going on. Just a brief recap is, as we're talking today, HOAs, homeowners associations, in condos or condominium HOAs and or PUDs, they have to take 10% of their funds and put them into a separate account. Starting in January, they have to take 15% of their funds and put it into a separate account.
When you
which
say funds, you mean from the dues that are collected from the people who live within that HOA community.
correct. So those funds have to be put into a account and
Reserves.
reserves. Thank you. That's even a better word to use. It has to be right now. It
That
stands
is the
goes to
word they
15.
use.
That is
That is the exact word they use. And I know you don't live in an HOA, I do. And you don't deal with a lot of HOAs out in Ridgecrest, and I do. So it
right.
would, it would make sense that this is kind of like new or totally new information for you.
It really is. When you first told me about it, I'm like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Rachel, because that's I don't have to deal with that.
Lucky you.
Yay me, yay me.
And by the way, we are in season 2, episode 27.
Season 2, episode 27. There, I just put that in.
Okay, there you
Season
go.
2, episode 27. Yeah, when you brought that up to me, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, and I did some more checking, and I have HOAs here in town. However, none of them are condos.
Okay.
Totally off track, but I also found out the other day that in Ridgecrest we have not had a standard build apartment complex since 1987.
Okay.
I
mean,
thought
yes,
I thought that was interesting.
that makes sense. I mean, out here in our area, we probably haven't had apartments built since late 70s. Up until recently, we have a lot of new buildings coming out, and some will be apartments. But I would say that it would be a fair statement, and not one that I've researched, but I've just been out here a really long time, and I'm a TO dinosaur, and I would say that most of our apartments out here were built in the late mid 70s to, gosh, if there's anything out here early 80s, I'd be surprised. But we do have new builds going now for sure, and those will be leases and apartments.
They're going to be HO. Anyway, let's go back.
Okay.
That's off topic now. Sorry.
Sorry.
So, with the HOAs, it comes down to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and
Yes.
what do those stand for, Rachel?
Well, they're sort of kind of like little nicknames. So, Fannie Mae is the Federal National Mortgage Association, which was created back in 1938. And Freddie Mac is the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, which was created in 1970. And these organizations they're government sponsored enterprises. They're not necessarily government agencies like you would think of like the IRS, but they carry implied government guarantee. So they are government backed loans, but they are not necessarily the funds don't necessarily specifically come from government funds, which obviously would be like taxpayer dollars. Does that make sense?
It does, and I think I've only heard that full description once in my whole career. So
When you were
does it-
studying for your real estate license?
pretty much, yes. It's funny is we all have to go take these really long, intensive tests, and it turns out that very little of it ever really comes into play. I will say that the continuing education is actually more valuable than the test itself.
And that's usually the case, and sometimes that's because you're already like in the saddle, and you just understand it better because
Right.
you've been, experiencing it. Speaking of that, I don't know if we talked about it, and I want you to get your little applause button going. You're frozen, but I want your little finger to hover over that little applause button because I want you to know that I did submit and I am relicensed, and I cannot believe that I have completed 4 years. It's crazy. It goes by really fast. Okay. It's not really that great. It's not really that exciting, but thank you. But when
Well,
you're talking about continuing education, I feel like I did benefit from many, not all, of the courses that were required to take to relicense. And like I just said, because I've been in the saddle for a while, some of it was like, oh, okay, that's what that meant when I learned it the first time. I wasn't really quite sure. Anyways, back to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and HOAs. Back to you, Miller. You're frozen.
Oh, back to me. Oh, well, crap. Okay, back to me. It's and it's interesting also about HOAs, and again we're going to cover this on another show, but it feels, and that may be the wrong word to use, that the condos are really starting to get cracked down on. Is we also have the new rules with the patios and balconies. That
Yes.
those have to be done. And when
Yeah.
it comes to the HOA stuff, the days of a 14-day escrow starting January, that's not happening. Ain't no
Right.
way. They're going to be way longer. There's going to be a deep dive on what the reserves are. And let's say there's a condo complex, and I'm going to go to an extreme. Let's say a condo complex has 100 condos in it, and they're collecting, I don't know, $600, and then I have to put those monies into the reserves. But let's also say there's 100 air conditioning units, and let's just say 20% of them go down. Does the HOA have the monies to fix, repair, and/or replace those air conditioning units, or the balconies, and anything else that they are required to do by the homeowner's contract? And the other scary thing, and you brought this to my attention the other day, as you do live in a HOA, and nothing against HOAs. Please know that we're not slamming HOAs. It's
Oh, I'm
just
slamming them.
okay. I'm not.
But I'm totally slamming them.
I guess this
Not
is
afraid
this
of
is a
it.
good cop, bad cop. The HOAs, they're not typically led by a professional organization. They're Jim Bob, who may be working over at the local cellular shop.
So let me shed some light. And I hope I can remember all the things that were running through my mind as you were saying those things. First of all, for repairs, reserves are partly for that. So you have your reserves, and then you look at your reserves and you divvy up what those reserves are for. Oftentimes you may not have enough, so let's just say 10% of reserves are for the landscape. Let's say landscape needs to be revitalized. Well, you don't have 10% of your reserves isn't enough, so now you get a special assessment. I mean, landscape isn't vital. Air conditioner units, like you mentioned, that would be more vital. So, and the other thing is what Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are looking at now, and it's, as we've mentioned a gazillion and one times on our podcast, is out in California, and especially in my area, we have over 100 HOAs in the Canal Valley. It's the fire insurance, and the fire insurance is just too high for any HOA out here to really be able to handle. So HOAs are now using shared policies, where it's a larger policy that's spread across many different HOA communities. And it's great, it's something, but it's not enough for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So that it's really become more of an issue with our insurance than anything else. But then it shed light on a lot of other things that our HOAs are inadequate in. And to your point, we have these boards, and there's a certain amount of seats on the board, and these are homeowners that live in the community. And if you're lucky, you get somebody who is an accountant or a lawyer or somebody or a contractor, somebody who really knows the different segments that are important for running a successful HOA, and they're willing to volunteer their time. Then they'll step in if you're lucky. Oftentimes, not all the time, I'm generalizing, but a lot of times it's people who they have the time, and so they're willing to do it. And God bless them, because it's their time, and they've got to deal with a lot of gripes, and they got to deal with a lot of stuff, but they may not necessarily be completely qualified to balance books for something that, which is why there's also a management company, because the management company will there's the checks and balances, and the management company will advise. So that's why we do have the management companies behind the HOAs. But at the same time, more and more of the communities, such as like the one I live in, they are heavily occupied with renters, meaning that the owners are off property somewhere else and they become very detached to the monthly HOA board meetings that happen. So the board can meet, nobody shows up to vote, and so the board just kind of they run amok. They just, because nobody's watching, nobody's paying attention. So that's kind of what I am running into, what I see out in my neck of the woods.
So here's a couple of things.
Okay.
And it's funny is after our last podcast about this, I was in a meeting with a bunch of California agents talking exactly about this. I'm like, you guys should probably check out our podcast because we talked a lot about this. They're like, oh yeah, we probably
And
should.
here it is.
Yeah, and here it is again. There were questions. Can owners ask for minutes of the last meeting? Absolutely, they can.
Yes.
They can absolutely ask for that. Can we see the financials? Absolutely,
And they should.
They should absolutely. The first thing an agent should do, the second he or she gets a listing in the HOA, is find out how the house is listed. Is it listed? Or the building is listed? Is it a condo? Is it a PUD? Is it a house? Because houses. Why did I just get blurry? That was weird.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah, I thought my eyes were crossing. The houses, as a designation of a house, is not included in this whole cabal. Is that a word?
Construct?
Construct. And
I don't know if
of
that's
the-
a word, but it seems right.
We'll go with that. It homes are not included in that. It's just the condos. If an agent goes in, first thing you got to find out.
Which is not something I heard or realized, and in my mind, HOA is HOA, so I really don't know what the difference is, because reserves are reserves and money is money, so.
Right. They appear to be just going after condos. And like we were talking earlier before we came on the air, is up here in Kern County, we have very few condo HOAs. I have zero in Ridgecrest, but even in Kern County, there's very few. If it were me and I was living in an HOA and was going to list my property, I would like the last 12 months of the HOA, of the meetings, of the minutes of the meetings. I would ask to see what the balance of the books are, because the agent is going to be asking for that. And do we have any jurisdiction on how that's as agents and how that's used? No.
Well, can I tell you though, escrow always requests that stuff
Right.
as part of inspections and disclosures.
Right. I would just try to get that way ahead of time to try to get in front of anything, because the last thing we want to do is get this information, because a lot of times, and we just mentioned it a few minutes ago, the people who are running the HOAs, this is typically not their number one priority. And it could take 2 to 3 weeks before we get that data. So requesting that even before, as an owner of that owner of the HOA, owner of that property, I would start gathering that data right away, so that you can give it to your agent, so the agent can try to get a hold of things. And just to even throw more fun stuff at this, is even if the property is, quote, not insurable, it can be. It's just going to be more money, because money
Yes.
fixes everything. But it can
Sometimes.
be insurable. It's just going to cost more money. So it just comes back to knowledge is power, and getting as much information about your HOA as humanly possible. And about and you've mentioned it a couple of times now, is the master insurance policy. What are the deductibles? What's the policy cover? What's the HOA supposed to cover? Security, the pool, lighting, air conditioning, the roof, pest control, sidewalks, driveways. What are they responsible for?
What do they cover?
Yeah, those are all huge things. Go ahead.
So the deeper discovery now that will take place shifts escrow timelines a little bit. So
Absolutely.
the old timelines for document collection and review were anywhere between 1 to 3 days. Now it's 3 to 10. Underwriting review used to be 1 to 2 days. Now it's 3 to 5. Clearing, which I'm not exactly sure what that means, but that's one, used to be 1 to 2, now it's 1 to 3, and total approval time used to be about 21 to 30 days, now it's 30 to 45 days. So oftentimes buyers like to strengthen their offer by shortening contingency periods, but unfortunately that is not going to be something that we're going to be able to use to help our offers along.
I mean, it's still nice to have it in there. However, when it comes to any real power, it's negligible. However, once the agent and escrow has all that information, cool. We can go as quickly as humanly possible. But
One of the single most causes of the delay, though, is the management company being slow to respond with complete and accurate information. Right now, I have 3 listings, they're all condos, and I've been dealing with 3 different HOA and 3 different management companies. And I can tell you that some are on the ball and some are not.
I've decided you can keep all your HOAs down there.
Thanks.
I'm going to just go with my desert, my desert palaces.
Yeah.
Hush,
Well, let's move
hush
away
you.
from this topic for a minute because I want to talk to Landman Scott Miller, Mr. Scott Miller, Landman. Miller,
Yeah.
Mr. Miller, how many land listings do you have right now?
Look, I'm a landman. I got a tractor.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom. Oh wait, I don't think they go. Okay, I'll put it back.
How many land listings do you have going right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What's going on?
And I'm maybe getting more. I just talked to one of my sellers who told
I
me she has.
swear, I'm going to call you Landman Miller.
I have had to do some modifications to how I'm doing my listings, which was really weird for me. Is just so we're clear, typically on land, and this is not a rule, it's just what happens typically. Typically, agents who do land do 10% of the selling price. Well,
Because everything in real estate is negotiable.
absolutely correct. I have 2 land deals I'm working on right now where I was going to do substantially less than 10%. And I looked, I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work. Man, how am I doing? There are people, and I had this conversation with some other agents the other day, that they do a minimum transaction amount. And I had to really think about that. As a customer myself, I'm like, a minimum. And of course, obviously that's negotiable. But I decided for a lot of these land deals, they're small properties. They're $5,000 properties and in the desert. And they may not move very quickly. There was one I looked at the other day. It was down in the Imperial Valley. They wanted to list a property. I'm like, okay. And I did some due diligence. There were 408 land property listings in the Imperial Valley.
Oh my gosh.
408.
Do you recall how long those listings have been on the market?
Hundreds of days.
Oh my gosh.
And I said to my seller, I'm like, do you just want to sit on it or do you want to sell it? Well, I'd like to sell it. Okay.
Okay.
Now that we've established that, let's move forward. So I gave him a 30-day idea, and she's like, "Oh, well, maybe that's not what I had in mind." Okay,
Yeah, they want to sell it until they realize what it means.
right. And it's all about the conversation. I have 3 or 4. What do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 in Trona they're just. I have a 2.5 acre plot of land down there. I have another 5 acre plot. They're relatively inexpensive. Inexpensive is a relative term, but they're under $10,000. and after everything's all said and done, they end up putting $4,000 or $5,000 in their pocket after the fees, not just and I hate using the word fees, but that's what it is. And it's not the sales fees; it's governmental transaction fees, and the buyer's agent compensation, the seller agent compensation. Oh, it's like, if they want to sell it, we have to sell it appropriately.
Right. Need to list it appropriately.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what it really boils down to. It's a very interesting transaction. There's one lady I was just talking to. She has 58 land properties that she wants me to look at, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of properties.
Toledo. Did you market yourself as Landman Miller?
I have not yet.
Yet.
I think I'm gonna.
I get 0.1%.
Yes, I'm gonna even have another tractor. See, I think they saw my tractors that I have. I want one of these. I can just.
So my husband loves land. You should send him some of your better. Vroom vroom. Okay, Miller. So rapid fire real estate edition.
Oh,
for you. Some are real estate and some are not. Number one is not. And I'm wondering I don't think I know the answer to this one.
Okay.
Coffee or wine? Depends on time of day.
Yes. That depends.
Wine in the morning and coffee at night.
Yes. I can wine really well, though. Oh, Rachel.
Have you ever had beer coffee? It sounds so good.
It sounds very bitter to me.
It's good. Okay, open house or private showing?
Open house.
In this market, would you rather be buying or selling? Ooh, that is a good question.
Selling.
Okay, dream home is on the beach or in the mountains?
Mountains.
Fixer-upper or turnkey?
Is depends an answer?
I guess it is.
Maybe
I've done the fixer-upper. I'm ready to turn the key.
I like turnkey, but I like a light fixer. But I was going to do the light fixing here, and look, I haven't done that yet.
No light fixing going on. Big yard, big backyard, or an amazing kitchen?
Big backyard.
Pool or no pool?
Pool.
Definitely. Modern or traditional?
Traditional.
Tiny house in a great neighborhood, huge house in an okay neighborhood?
Meh. How big is tiny?
Moving on. What's your favorite part of being a realtor?
My favorite part of being a realtor is helping somebody get to where they want to be.
Okay.
Whether it's selling their house or finding their dream house or downsizing or upsizing. I met somebody yesterday who had the exact same size house they were looking at. It was just designed differently, and it sounds like they're going to put an offer in on it. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah.
This next question is definitely for you, and I'm you're either going to have to think about it or something's going to come to mind right away. The craziest thing you've seen at a house, because I know you've seen some shit, Miller. I know you've seen some crazy stuff out there. Just recently, you sent me a picture of something you came across in one of your houses.
When you asked me that question, the first thing that came to mind was a house that going down the stairs, I probably have a picture of it somewhere, going down the stairs, above the stairs about 12 feet was cabinets. I'm like, what are those for? And how do you get to them? I was like, that's just weird. I don't get that. And it was like 4 cabinets. I was like, did the house grow and they shrank? I don't know how that worked. I've also found a skull in a house. Does that count?
That's the one.
Yeah. I was in a house that had been repossessed. Yeah. I was in a house that got repossessed. And, with skull repossession, that could be bad. That's a really bad freeze frame we have on our screens right now. Eek.
Yeah,
I
it's
would like
really
it to
bad.
change right now. Blah, 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 blah. It's not changing. Anyway, there we unfroze. I kicked a blanket out of my way, and out from under the blanket rolled a skull. It was a fake skull. However, I did squeal like a 2-year-old boy. Ah! Yeah, it was very exciting. Yeah, I
If
may
you
have.
weren't in real estate, what would you be doing besides being frozen on my screen?
Besides being frozen on your screen,
What would you be doing?
I would probably still be doing my catering and doing kettle corn and lemonade.
Okay. Last two
Yeah.
questions, and we're going to end on these, and I think these are really good to end on. Your realtor superpower is?
Wow. My realtor superpower is getting to what the buyer or seller really want to accomplish.
Okay.
By asking questions and listening is twice as much as I talk. And I like to talk. So
You
yeah.
do like to talk.
Hey, it's enough out of you.
You are a talker. You're
I
a
am a
yapper.
talker.
Last one. Your realtor kryptonite.
Do skulls count? My realtor kryptonite is spiders.
Yeah, it is.
There's another agent in town. It was my first 2 weeks of being an agent. I was in a house, and there was a tarantula.
Oh,
And
God.
I sent a picture of it to my mentor, and I said, "How? What do I say about a big ass spider in the house?" And she responded with, "Wildlife present." So I put in wildlife present with 8 legs and fuzzy.
Woo. All right,
Yes.
Miller. Well, that was fun. Next week, you'll have to have some questions for me.
I will have them, and it'll even be real estate related, maybe, if you're lucky. Yes. So, Rach, boy, this freezing thing is driving me. bonkers.
You are frozen in time. If you want to
Uh,
get a hold of me, you can call me at 805-813-0664. You can email me at rachel@gratishomes.com or 22 Rachel Moreno at gmail.com. Miller, once you unfreeze, you want to tell everyone how they can get a hold of you?
Scott at homeswithscottkmiller.com or 760-264-3501. And that is our show for this week.
That's
And
it.
everything is frozen. I can't even play clapping noises. Oh, wait, there it is. Yay! Clapping noises, and look at that. We are out of here. Until next week, we'll see you very soon.